Everyone, my name is Alicia Jackson, licensed professional. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and welcome to my channel. As today we are talking about how to manage anger in a healthy way, and our goal is to provide mental health information from a centered place. Before we get into it, of course, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below, as this is going to be kind of an intriguing conversation about anger. Have you heard a lot of ways that people talk about how to manage anger, whether it is going to a kickboxing class, counting to 100, quieting that voice, right? Taking a deep breath. And I feel like all of those are definitely great ways to work with your anger in the moment, and at the same time we do need to address it. So let us get right on into it. The first step on how we truly can navigate anger from a healthy way is first give ourselves permission. We have to give ourselves permission to feel the anger. And I can already feel some people watching this feeling like, oh, I don't know about that. And it's a way to just know that it is okay that we get angry, right? I'm not saying to allow the anger to take over you and to do things out of anger. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is for us to just allow yourself, give yourself grace to have the emotion, to experience the emotion. Know that it's not a bad thing that you're angry. Anger gets a bad rap, okay? Because oftentimes when people do things out of anger, it hurts people. And things can get out of hand. It can grow, it can get to a place where there's resentment and there's even rage and abuse. And we do not want that to happen. Usually when that is happening, it's because anger's voice has been ignored for a long period of time. There's a voice that has been trying to get our attention, and anger is like, you're going to listen to me. You're going to listen to me. So we need to give ourselves permission. We need to give ourselves permission to experience it and to know that it's not a negative thing, to have emotion, to have something and experience something that activates anger or triggers anger within us, that is okay. Then once we give ourselves permission, we can take note. Once we give ourselves permission, we can become self-aware, right? Become self-aware and take note. Take note of the things that are activating our anger. Take note of those things. Write them down. Write them down, because they're going to tell you so much about what is really bothering you. Anger's voice is often honest. It's honest. It doesn't mean that it's logical, but it is honest. And there's a reason. There's a real reason why you're angry. And so we have to take note of that and take account of that. Remember, if we don't do that, it's going to continue to grow. Anger does not like to be ignored. It does not. So we need to take note of them. Write them down. Write them down. And become curious. Become curious about the things that are igniting anger within you. Become curious about it. Some things, once you notice, you get to notice that anger is a protective emotion. Okay, so when I say it's a protective emotion, meaning it's showing up to let the other person know, or even sometimes you let you know that it is not okay with how you're treating yourself or how the other person is treating you and how they're showing up for you. Okay, and it's often showing in a way that is pretty aggressive. Okay, and that's just because there's some other things that are maybe getting in the way of anger's voice being heard. Oftentimes we are afraid. We're afraid to tell people how we really feel because we don't want to hurt their feelings. There's lots of things that are getting in anger's way. And so when we get to be curious, and we get to see what is actually underneath our anger. Is it sadness? Is it hurt? Is it fear? Is that what's really underneath our anger? That's when we can know and understand what is activating this anger, what's triggering this anger. And once we find out what's underneath there, are we really just sad? Are we really sad and that's why we're angry? Are we really hurt and that's why we're angry? Are we really scared and that's why we're angry? Getting curious about it. Now, I will tell you that sometimes what gets in the way of anger is the fact that sometimes we can numb our feelings. And that happens when we've experienced a lot of pain. When we've experienced something that either we know isn't going to change, our mind has said, oop, this isn't going to change. So let us just kind of normalize this as this is just how it is. This is just how it is. And what can we do about it? And so sometimes when we try to look underneath our anger, we don't feel anything. And that's normally because we have grown accustomed to kind of numbing our feelings about something that has been causing us pain and that we have ignored for a while. And so when that happens, we still need to become curious. We still need to be curious about what is really underneath that anger and what can really be causing this anger to show up. And if it's not the top three, which is normally sadness, hurt, and fear, then figure out within ourselves what is truly underneath the anger. Then what we need to do is address it. Address what's underneath there. Address what's underneath there and not using it. While anger lets us know what's going on within us, when something's not okay, oftentimes the way anger wants us to handle it is not the best way. That's oftentimes how anger wants us to handle a situation that we're not pleased with. Is not the best way, and so that's really why we try to quiet anger's voice, right, or hush it, or ignore it, or cast it to the side, because the way that anger wants to handle it is not the best. It is not the best way. So how we do it is by addressing it. And by addressing it, how can we resolve these issues that are making us sad or hurt or cause us pain or that we're afraid of? It may be a conversation that we need to have with ourselves. Maybe there's some things that we're doing and how we're showing up for ourselves, maybe by not setting boundaries or not communicating something to someone that we care about. Then we need to set those boundaries with ourselves and with other people. And maybe we need to have a conversation and communicate our feelings to someone that is hurting us, or to someone that we care about that's doing something that is causing this great fear within us, or sadness or hurt, to let them know how their behavior is impacting us. Does that mean that their behavior is going to change abracadabra? Absolutely not. And at the same time, we have to manage our expectations with ourselves and when it comes to how other people show up in our lives, because we don't have any control over that. And then the last way that we can address it is by seeking the help of a mental health professional. Sometimes our anger, the thing that causes it, is truly not having clarity, not having the clarity that we need about a situation. And we've been truly like functioning under a lot of assumptions and not really understanding what's going on even within ourselves or with the other person that is causing this activation, that's causing this activation to occur. And so it's going to take maybe an outside party to help to resolve it. And that's okay. Anger gets a bad rap. And I understand why, because oftentimes, again, how it is advising us to handle a situation is usually not best. And at the same time, we do need to listen to it, pay attention to it, and acknowledge what is happening underneath that anger to make sure that we are managing our relationships and our emotions in the best way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment below, like the video, and of course subscribe to the channel as we are trying to provide mental health information from a centered place. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, be cool, be calm, be centered. Peace.